Hey, welcome or welcome back to the Uncomfortable is Okay podcast. I'm your host, Chris Desmond, and this is the show where we figure out how to get better at doing the hard things that make life exciting. Today, we are on a short Friday strategy episode, and this strategy is all about friends making the hard work easier or doing it with your mates. So this is a strategy that you've most likely used before, even though you might not have realized that you were actually being strategic about it. So when you have something that you want to do that is going to be slightly stressful, instead of just trying to go and do it by yourself, get your mates involved to help you get through it. And if you can arrange to actually do the stressful activity with your friends, then so much the better, because they're going to make it more fun, they'll support you through it, you'll push a little bit harder, and they're going to reduce your stress levels as well. But as a caveat, you do want to be a bit strategic about who you get involved to help you out with this stressful task. You probably don't want to ask your mate who's a complainer, who doesn't try anything new, and who you know is just going to drag you down. Instead, you want to ask a friend or a friendly acquaintance who's good at doing what you've set out to do, or if not good at it, then at least a little bit better than you. These friends are going to be able to support you while pushing you along. So where do I apply this one? This is obviously an in-the-moment strategy. You need to get your friends to be there with you as you do the stressful task. And the stressful tasks that are best suited to getting your mates involved are the ones that are going to be helping you build a skill or a competence. And you know in the long run that these skills are going to be good to have, but because you don't have them yet, putting in the work to develop them is going to be difficult and uncomfortable. And it might be something like sorting out a study buddy to learn a new language with, getting a mate along to help prepare for a test, having someone come with you as you go for a run or go to an exercise class, or getting one of your mates along to the gym. So you want to use it when you have something to do that's going to be difficult in the moment, but is going to benefit your skill set in the long run. So this strategy in action, probably the most simple example of where I've used this strategy was when I started training at the gym during university. I'd never really done any weights training before, and weights training is obviously challenging as well as a little bit painful during and also afterwards. And I always did a better workout when I was there with one of my friends than when I went by myself. I literally had a spotter there to help me lift heavier weights and do harder things. So I worked out harder when I was there with someone else. I also had someone there to keep an eye on my technique when I got tired, even though my friends were about the same level as me, so all of our technique was pretty horrific when we started out. I shudder to think what some other people in the gym watching us would have thought. And also it was much easier to stay longer and to not cut corners when I was there with my mates than if I just went by myself. And thankfully now I've got to the point where I just go to the gym by myself because I actually love to train. But I don't know if I would have got to this point, or I don't know if I would have got to this point as quickly without my mates to help me along when I was building this skill up. So why does getting your mates involved work? When we're trying to build a skill or a competence, it's inherently difficult. We haven't got the skill yet, so we're pushing beyond what we're currently capable of. Putting ourselves in these challenging situations creates a stress response in us. And our bodies are wired to try and avoid stress, so we'll often try and jump away from this challenging activity. We know that doing these activities is good for us in the long run, and 99% of the time we're going to feel better for doing it afterwards. It's just that it's hard to start and hard to persevere through. And studies actually show that performing competence-producing behaviors or skill building are associated with momentary levels of reduced happiness as you're performing that behavior, but are really important for long-term well-being. In the same studies, they looked at human relatedness or interacting with people, and they found that this human interaction increased levels of happiness in the moment as well as increasing long-term well-being. So doing the hard work to increase a skill or competence is made easier when you involve human interaction, when you get your mates involved with it. So you get the positive benefits of the human relatedness in the moment, which is going to start to counteract the stress of pushing out of your comfort zone and building these new competences. Plus, you end up feeling great afterwards because you've had that human interaction as well as got better at doing something hard. So, next time you need to get in there, build a skill, do something hard, get your mates involved to help you out. So this is a little draft excerpt from a book that I'm writing at the moment called Get Out of Your Comfort Zone, A Guide to Doing Hard Shit. You can sign up. I'll flick you through some of the strategies via email at getoutofmycomfortzone.com. I'll keep you up to date with how the book is tracking along, and I'll make sure to hook you up with some sweet deals when it does finally arrive. So that's getoutofmycomfortzone.com. And thank you all so much for getting uncomfortable with me today.